Here is how to change the hydraulic transmission fluid inside a 2002 Mustang convertible motor. You're going to want a few things for this. You're going to want a flathead screwdriver. You're going to want a set of pliers. If you are wanting to drain all of the transmission fluid out and fully replace it, which I'd recommend to do if your car is probably 10 years old by now, or in a year around there, you're going to want something to be able to suction out by pressing on the bottle. You're going to want something to suction out the fluid before you replace it. So I use this bottle right here. Even though it says on it to use Dexron fluid, I have found out that this Motorcraft Mercon fluid works. So I use that. The previous owner left that with me. And then I didn't use this bottle to put the fluid in. I used this other one after, and this worked just fine. So what you're going to want to do is there's these 4 caps on each side of the motor. I'm pointing at one right here, and it's kind of mushroom shaped, and it looks like it won't be able to come back up. What you're going to want to do is use a flathead screwdriver and be pushing up, and then be using pliers to put something in between these metal, and have your other hand also pushing up. They're pretty hard to get out, but it is possible. And then there's 2 in the back that are really hard to get to. What you're going to want to do is just get your hand back as far as you can and find leverage anywhere you can to be able to push those up. So once you have all 4 of these out, you will be able to lift the motor up, and there's a black cap on the right side. What you want to do is take pliers and just be wiggling that as much as you can. It might take you a minute or 2. The cap's actually about 1 inch long, so don't be trying to force it out too hard. It's going to take a while, and be anticipating it to be like 1 inch long. Then after you get the cap out, you can lift this up to be able to put something in, whatever bottle you're using or whatever to put the transmission fluid in, or if you're first suctioning some out, you can lift this motor up about 1 inch or 2, and that's going to allow you to access this more easily. The fluid only goes about this much inside of the motor, so you're just going to need maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 ounces. When I just went to go take the fluid out, there was maybe only like 2 ounces in there, and I'm pretty sure 4 or 5 can actually fill inside of it. So suctioning out the old fluid and putting in new fluid is pretty simple. I just put paper towels on the right side, right here underneath, for whatever spills. The fill line you're going to want to be using is going to be just below the cap. So as much as you can fill in before it's overflowing, that's what you want to do. And then you want to leave the cap out, put the key in the ignition, e-brake up, and put the convertible top up and down like 3 or 4 times. And what I've read that's supposed to do is get all the air out of the lines and bleed out the lines, and then put the top back down, and then you can fill a little bit more fluid in, so there'll be a little bit more space in there, and then put the cap in. And then I'd recommend, before putting these back in, checking out and seeing if everything's working fine. So that's pretty much all there is to it. There's a trick to getting these caps back in. They're pretty difficult. What I'd recommend doing is using one finger to be pulling. See, there's the triangle like tip right there. Use one finger to be like pulling and feeding it through while you're pushing with another finger. You can use a flathead screwdriver and push on it in here to get a few of the edges down into the lower part of the metal. And if you're doing that while with another finger you're pulling them out, it's actually not too hard to feed it in. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You have to have the convertible top down when you go to do any of this, or bad stuff will happen. I've read like hoses will explode or something crazy. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Good luck.